right, so the cheat sheet's going to be given to you. It'll be typed, so it's not going to look exactly like this, but we'll give you all of this information. You need to know how to leave your answers, though. So if it's asking for domain, you have to leave your answer in interval notation. So we've done that for a while. That's with the parentheses, the other parentheses. That would be interval notation. For vertical asymptotes, your answer is going to be x equals. Horizontal asymptote, your answer will be y equals. Slant asymptotes, your answer is going to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. The y-intercepts, your answer is going to be as a point, so it'll be 0, comma, the number. X-intercepts, the number is going to go in the x spot, so it'll be the number, comma, 0. And then holes, your answer is going to be x equals whatever value you have a hole at. So you guys need to know how to leave your answer. So the form matters, the format that you leave your answer in. But we're going to give you this information. Quiz tomorrow is on 3.5 and 3.6. We are going to give you the cheat sheet that was on the 3.6 notes. So the cheat sheet that was on the first page of the notes, we're going to give it to you. Number 1, you don't have to do. You can skip it, cross it off. We skipped it from the notes, so we're not doing it. It won't be on the quiz. Let's do number 2. So we're going to find the zeros and state the complete factorization. How do we find the zeros here? Group them. When we have 4 terms, we want to factor by grouping. So group the first 2, group the second 2. What's the GCF from the first group?
X squared.
X squared. When we take out an x squared, we're left with x minus 3. What's the GCF from the second group?
12.
12. When we take out a 12, we're left with x minus 3. So then we want to take the 2 things on the outsides and put them together. So x squared plus 12 and x minus 3. Set them both equal to 0 to find the zeros. So we get x squared is equal to negative 12 when we subtract the 12 to move to the other side. What else does x equal? 3. Let's finish solving the first one. X squared equals negative 12. What would we have to do next? Square root both sides. So x equals what? Perfect. Plus or minus, don't forget the plus or minus. The negative comes out and it turns into an I, so we've got the I there. And then let's simplify the square root of 12. What are 2 factors of 12?
4 and 3.
4 and 3. 4 breaks down into 2 and 2. So we have a pair of 2s, so that comes to the outside. And we're left with 3 on the inside. So we plus or minus, yeah, we typically write it as plus or minus 2i square root 3. But if you had the I first, it's not a problem. Just make sure you have all the parts there. Second part of this says to state the complete factorization. So that's writing it in factored form. So in factored form, we always write x minus the number. So we'd have x minus 2i square root 3. X minus negative 2i square root 3 would be plus. So x plus 2i square root 3. And then how would I say for x equals 3, what would come next? X minus 3, perfect. So this would be our complete factorization. These would be our zeros. Next, let's do number 3. So here it gives us the answers. We want to come up with the polynomial. So we want to write the polynomial with the given zeros. If we have 3 and 7i as zeros, what else do we know is going to be a 0? Negative, what?
7.
7i, perfect. Any I that you have, we need its partner. We need its conjugate pair. So if you have a positive 7i, that means negative 7i is also going to be a 0. So let's write this into factored form, because that's the only one with an I. So anytime you have an I, it needs its pair. How would I write this in factored form? X minus 3? What would come next? X minus 7i and x plus 7i. Now, when we multiply these together, we always want to start with the conjugate pair. So always start with the i's. If you multiply it correctly, the i's are going to go away. You're not going to have i's in your answer. So when we FOIL these together, we get x squared plus 7ix minus 7ix minus what?
49i squared.
49i squared. What does the I squared change to?
-1.
Negative 1. So what's negative 1 times negative 49? Positive 49. And what happens to the 7ix's? They cancel. So one's positive and one's negative. They cancel. So we're left with x squared plus 49. So the i's go away. Then we still have to multiply that to x minus 3. So we're going to FOIL these together now. So x times x squared would be x to the third power. Negative 3 times x squared would be negative 3x squared. Then x times 49 would be 49x. And 49 times negative 3, if you can't do it in your head, write it down. 3 times 9 would be 27. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 would be 14. So this would be negative 147. So for number 5, we're going to find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. So starting with our vertical asymptotes, what does the cheat sheet say we need to do to find the vertical asymptote? Bless you. Set the denominator equal to 0. So we have 5x plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2 on both sides. 5x equals negative 2. Divide by 5. So x equals negative 2 over 5. So that would be our vertical asymptote. Next, let's find our horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, we need to look at the degrees. When the degree of our highest term on top is the same degree as the highest term on the bottom, then what do we need to look at? The leading coefficient. So we just set the leading coefficients in whatever fraction they're in. So we have y equals 3 over 5. So 3's on top, so 3 goes on top in our answer. Yes? So when your degrees, when the exponents are the same, so here we have x to the first power, x to the first power, you just look at the leading coefficients for the x terms. So like for the highest term in each of them. If our degree on top was greater, so let's say we had x squared over x, then here we would have no horizontal asymptote. If our degree is greater in the denominator, then here our horizontal asymptote would be y equals 0.
So on top when it's less, it's 0, and then the opposite is just none.
Mm-hmm. So if they're the same, you look at the numbers in front. If the top is bigger, you have no horizontal asymptote. If the denominator is bigger, then it's y equals 0. All right, for number 8, let's find the x and the y intercepts. So starting with our x-intercepts, what do we do to find the x-intercept? Awesome. Set the numerator equal to 0. So we have 0 equals x squared plus 7x plus 10. From here we have to solve. What would we do to solve? Factor. What are 2 factors of 10 that add to 7? 5 and 2. So we have x plus 5 and x plus 2. So what would x equal? Negative 5 and negative 2. Now for x-intercepts, we have to write them as points. So how would we write our point? Perfect. The x goes first. So since we found what x is equal to, it's going to go in the x spot. So negative 5, 0, and negative 2, 0. No. Here you're just listing 2 points. Next, let's find our y-intercept. What do we do to find the y-intercept? Plug in 0 into all of the x's. Perfect. So we have 0 squared plus 7 times 0 plus 10 over 0 plus 3. If it has a 0, it just goes away. So what do we have left? 10 over 3. How would you write that as a y-intercept? 0, 10 over 3. Perfect. So that would be our point. Let's find our vertical asymptote next. What do we do to find the vertical asymptote? Set the denominator equal to 0. So x plus 3 equals 0. What would x equal?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Perfect. We subtract 3 to move it to the other side. So our vertical asymptote is x equals negative 3. Lastly, let's find our slant asymptote. What do we do to find the slant asymptote? What does the cheat sheet say? Long division. So we have x plus 3 that's going to go on the outside. Your denominator goes on the outside, and we're dividing that into x squared plus 7x plus 10. So what's x squared divided by x? X. Then we multiply that times everything out front, so we get x squared plus 3x. What do we do next? Change the signs and combine. So x squareds cancel. What's 7x minus 3x? 4x. Then we have to divide again. What's 4x divided by x? 4. We multiply by everything out front, so we get 4x plus 12. Change the signs and combine. So the 4x's cancel. 10 minus 12 is negative 2. Now for our slant asymptote, it has to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. So you're really just looking for an x and a number. Whatever your remainder is, goes away. You don't need it. So you can drop your remainder. So our answer here would be y equals, and we just take what's up top, x plus 4. So that would be our slant asymptote. All right, so the bottom part, we are going to find all the following information, but these two sentences here, the 2 lines, bless you, this is not going to be given to you. This is like how you leave your answers to the form that it's looking for. This you have to know. So make sure you know that if it's asking for a domain, it wants interval notation. If it's asking for the vertical asymptote, you want to make it x equals your answer. Horizontal asymptote needs to be y equals. Slant asymptote is going to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. X-intercept is going to be the number, comma 0. Y-intercepts 0, comma the number. Holes is just x equals. So this is what I wrote on the cheat sheet. This you're not given, but you need to leave your answer in proper form. So this is the proper form that we're looking for. We're giving you the cheat sheet. You just need to leave your answer correctly. So for number 10, we're going to find the domain. If you want to find everything for every question, that's perfectly fine, extra practice for you. But I just want to find the domain here. What would we do to find the domain for number 10? What does your cheat sheet say to do to find the domain? Set the denominator not equal to 0. So we get x squared does not equal 25. What do we do next? Square root both sides. So what does x not equal? Plus or minus 5. Don't forget the plus or minus. We're talking about 2 numbers here. So if you want to put that on a number line to write your domain, you can. We have -5 and +5. We're talking about all the numbers before -5, in between, and after. So how would I write that in interval notation? Awesome. -5, and then +5 to infinity. Alright, so we're talking about all numbers before -5, in between -5 and 5, and then after 5. So our interval notation has 3 parts here. Number 11 has a typo. The numerator should be -12. I'm going to change this. It should say -12. How do we find the holes? What does our cheat sheet say to do? Awesome. We want to factor. So let's factor our numerator. What are 2 factors of -12 that add to -1?
4 and 3. So positive 3.
Perfect. So here we have x minus 4 and x plus 3. How do we factor our denominator? Awesome. It's the difference of squares, so it'd be x plus 3 and x minus 3. Now, holes happen if you have anything in common in your numerator and denominator. Do we have any factors in common?
Yes.
X plus 3. So we cancel those out and we say x plus 3 is equal to 0. So where would our hole be?
-3.
X equals -3. So for holes, you need to put the x equals. How do we find the slant asymptote? Long division, perfect. So x minus 2 goes on the outside, and then 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 goes on the inside. So when we divide, what's 3x squared divided by x? 3x. Then we multiply 3x squared minus 6x. What do we do next? Change the signs and combine. So the 3x squareds cancel. We have 11x. What do we do next? What's 11x divided by x? Perfect, 11. Do we need to keep going? No, once you have your x and the number up top, you can stop. How would I write my answer for slant asymptote? Awesome. Y equals 3x plus 11. So it has to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. So you have your y equals, your x, and a number. One more that I'm going to do with you guys for practice. Let's find our x-intercepts here. How do we find the x-intercepts? Set the numerator equal to 0. So we have 0 equals 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. What would we do to solve from here? Awesome. Multiply the first times the last, we get -6. What are 2 factors of -6 that add to 5? 6 and -1. Perfect. So we have x plus 6 and x minus 1. What do we do next? No, before we do that, don't forget, when you start by multiplying the first times the last, you have to divide by 3. So if you do that extra step in the beginning to factor where you multiply, you have to divide. Simplify if you can. So this one simplifies to x plus 2. If it doesn't simplify, move it in front of the x. This one would be 3x minus 1. Now we can set them both equal to 0. So x equals what? -2 and? 1/3. Perfect. Add the 1, divide by 3. How would we write this for our answer? As points. So how do we write it?
-2, 0.
Perfect. -2, 0, and 1/3, 0. The order that you write them in doesn't matter. But just make sure that the number goes in the x spot. So number goes in the x spot, 0 goes in the y. These would be our x-intercepts.